Dr. Thomas.
Nigga, who is that? Tyler Perry? What is this shit, bro? Oh, let me go ahead and introduce this dumbass video. Alright, we're doing SCP-049. We're gonna start doing a lot of SCPs, bro, because SCPs have like endless fucking just information and shit that I can just learn about and just have like knowledge of that shit. But let's see what the fuck this is. Apparently this is like a plague doctor. I'm interested.
Colleagues. But who in the
Look at John Berthenall.
He was the best at what he did.
Interesting.
The greatest in the whole
Black MC, Black MC.
As he entered the room, SCP-049 bid him welcome, cordial as always. So polite, in fact, that you'd never.
So is there like an entire fucking laboratory of these niggas, bro? I mean, it's like this laboratory like fucking the Cabin in the Woods style, like each one is inside like a different closed-in room or some shit. That's kind of, I don't know, bro. Where is this at? Nevada?
Yes, you were talking.
It's probably in like South Dakota or some weird-ass place.
Of what he was dealing with. But he also believed he could get through to
nigga, what is this voice mannerism? You sound like reverb.
Exorcised the devil from him. It was the meeting of two great minds. One of them human, one of them part human, part something that has never been clear. It was to be a battle of wits.
Nigga, you're a scientist. Why don't you know?
This one would turn into a massacre. Before we get to that fateful meeting, there are some
things
you should know about the anomaly known as SCP.
Yeah, we gotta delve deeper into what this is that nigga is talking about, because like he said part human, part what? Nothing?
049. If you saw him in the street, the first thing you'd think of is plague.
No, the first thing I think of is get the fuck away from me, I'm running.
A man dressed in black robes with a plague doctor's mask. But this wasn't a costume that could be taken off. In fact,
the doctors back then really said, what's the most comfortable look we can use to make sure everybody feels happy and comfortable around us? And they chose this shit right here. Like, nigga, are you serious?
It wasn't a costume at all. It was him. The robes had grown out of him.
That's like the first thought that came to their mind was this look.
The mask with the pointed nose wasn't covering his face. It was his face. A kind of shell that had seemingly sprouted from bone.
Nigga, what?
During World War II, in a picturesque town in the south of France called Mont.
The fuck are we playing? Clash of Clans?
Children disappeared from their beds in the middle of the night and weren't seen again. Adults went to the market and never returned. Local authorities searched high and low.
So he's just killing everybody there.
And dragged the rivers, but nothing was found. Because what was happening wasn't criminal. There was no clue they could stumble upon or eyewitness who would break the case.
Nigga, what was he doing to them though? Experimenting?
Something that the townsfolk could never understand.
Now I'm immersed.
And that's when a search and discovery team was sent from
Look at Conan O'Brien.
It was a cold, dark night in January of 1941 when the team found what they were looking for. They walked through the open door of a small house located not too far from the Grand Chateau de Richelieu to find a mask.
That is some white people shit. Them niggas look happy as fuck going into that haunted ass building. You got me fucked up, bro. The thing is, like, there has to be a scary movie made where like it's all black characters, because like we would not be doing stupid shit like this, bro. Like we would not be, wow, haunted house? I guess we have to go investigate. Like, nigga, you're outside of the group and I'm never fucking with you again. Nigga, no, I'm out of here.
Next to an open fire.
Peace.
And he wasn't alone. The floor around him looked like it was moving. Upon closer inspection, the team saw that the floor was covered with
lava,
grasping bodies. It's patience.
Nigga, what?
Bienvenue,
get this dumbass ad off here!
Welcome to my home. Those so-called patients crawled towards the team, intent it seemed to cause harm. The hostiles,
light that nigga up, light that nigga up.
SCP-049-2s were deemed dangerous and had to be eliminated.
Nigga, light him up, man!
That didn't bother 049 in the slightest.
There you go.
Sat there, occasionally looking up from writing notes in a leather
what the hell?
As his patients were gunned down. Once the carnage ended, it simply closed its book, stood up, and allowed itself to be escorted away. And
they shot the niggas?
049 ended up at the facility, becoming a guest of sorts, staying in a standard secure humanoid containment cell, Research Sector 02, Site 19. The few that came into contact with 049 remarked that it was a pleasure for them, with its impeccable manners, vast knowledge of medicine and human anatomy, sharp tongue, and
nigga, who cares? Go talk to a damn doctor. They know the same shit.
The of its charms until, with the simple touch of its hand, it would drain the life from them. That's why SCP-049 was classified as a
So they knew this nigga was just taking souls from people, no Mia Khalifa, and they still willingly just went inside the room to talk to this nigga? Niggas are so fucking
That's why armed guards were always stationed outside its cell. It's why doctors took great precautions when in its presence, and it's why Dr. Morstead should have known better.
What?
Remember, when 049 was discovered in France, it willingly went with the team, like it was happy it had been found, as if it had planned its own capture. When it arrived at the
of course, this nigga's a
it didn't act
genius.
like it was contained against its will. It was like it was returning home. Initial findings as to the biology of 049 were that it didn't require any sustenance at all, not even water. It seemed content to be left alone with its notebooks. It did not object when it was asked if it could share some of its notes and gladly handed over its journals. But
Look at that
upon
nigga's
examination,
hairline. God
it was
damn.
discovered that 049 derives much satisfaction from seeing so-called experts struggle over its text.
Oh,
Unable to
hell
read those
nah.
notes, a long line of doctors visited 049 in its cell, each
Move, nigga.
fascinated by what they beheld. It was learned that it has traveled the globe. It speaks many languages, but prefers to speak
So
what
this
it calls
nigga's just broken
langue
then.
de l'amour, French. It asked for only one thing: warm-blooded animals. The facility agreed
What?
to
This
supply
nigga act like it's
049
damn, like the Ritz or some shit, nigga. We're not here to serve your dumb ass.
various kinds, including rabbits, cattle, and even an ape on one occasion. Just like with humans.
Look
it
at
could
Curious
kill the animal
George,
with a mere
dumbass.
touch of its hand,
That nigga got way
sucking
too
the life
curious.
right out of them.
Now he's dead.
That wasn't even the most incredible part. Soon those animals would rise again, as if reanimated by 049. They would become, for all
Nigga,
intents
look
and
at that
purposes,
angry ass
the living
monkey.
dead. And they were hostile. After several unfortunate incidents, they were taken from the cell the moment they arose and disposed of in the incinerator. This was
What?
not the liking of 049, who would claim it had cured the animals. For
Of
it,
what?
The world was sick. It saw plague and pestilence everywhere, and the meaning of its existence was to rid the world of disease. Humans, it said, contained a virus.
So he's gonna
It had
kill all
the virus.
humans.
In the first days after arriving at the facility,
And they still just
049
walked
didn't
in
seem
there.
to pose a threat to humans. It was quite friendly, in fact. It seemed aware of the fear it caused in staff, and would
Okay,
often go
Steve
out of its
Martin,
way
now
to
you're
make them feel
dead.
comfortable and safe. This was a ruse, of course, or a canard, as 049 liked to say. It had no intention to help humans. No, it had come for humans. It wasn't trapped. It had set a trap. One
These
of the
niggas
first
are
people
so
to truly upset
stupid, bro.
049 was Dr. Raymond Ham, a well-respected physician that had twice been a contender for the Nobel Prize for his more mainstream
Did he
work.
win, though?
What had confused Dr. Ham the most was not 049's clothes-like exoskeleton, or even his ability to reanimate the dead, but the bag that it used. 049 was,
What was in
somehow
there?
able to pull a seemingly endless supply of surgical tools from that bag. Sometimes it would even pull out objects that were somehow larger than the bag itself.
How?
It was as if the bag connected to somewhere else. And that's what Dr. Ham wanted to talk about on that fateful day.
That nigga was going to
049
steal
on
that
one side of
shit.
the cell, and Dr. Ham
049, what is that?
He asked,
I'm gonna try to
"How is it
snatch
you
that shit away
produce
from
a
him."
great quantity of tools from that bag. I've observed you, and it seems to me that you are doing the impossible. Dear doctor.
Nigga, he
replied
literally,
049,
that's his skull.
Scourge,
He is the
great
impossible.
dying cannot be fought with a handful of toys. My bag is merely the product of my imagination. It gives me what I require.
Nigga,
You, dear
what?
sir, it seems, are limited by your imagination. It stopped for a second or two and stared at Dr. Ham. I detect you are unwell, it said, in a voice
Oh,
not as
hell
amiable as
nah.
before. It's just a cold, said the doctor. Ah, just a cold.
Yeah,
You
you're
had
dead
seen
now.
what I
Why would you
saw.
tell him
You
that?
did not utter such insulting words. Dr. Ham pulled out some papers from a briefcase and approached 049, holding them close enough so it could read them. You see, said Dr. Ham, pointing to the results on the paper, those animals you say you cured, they were not diseased. They were perfectly healthy before they died, and your so-called cure, it turned them into something quite terrible. We found that if they were left alone, they began to eat each other, and then themselves.
What the fuck was he
049
doing to
did not
them?
respond, and after a brief pause said only, "A good day to you, doctor. Please close the door on your way out. You should
Look at what this ad says right
Ham
here.
refused to
Nigga,
go,
move!
and instead turned the conversation to this real interest, the bag, demanding that 049 let him see inside of it. Very well, doctor, 049 said.
This
In
nigga
turn,
damn Doctor
049
Strange.
began to pull a series of long metal
Dr.
poles out of
Weird
its
or some
bag,
shit.
followed by a rolled up curtain that it
What
hung
the
between them.
why would you
Creating
let
a
him
kind of
do that to
tent around
you?
Dr. Ham. It seemed to stare for just a moment into the observation camera outside of itself before whipping the curtain shut.
No way he
Dr.
just
Ham
stood
was
there and let
discovered
that
3
happen.
hours later, crawling around the floor of 049's cell. Now another mindless undead. When he was
Hell
retrieved by
nah.
security, 049 didn't even look up from his notebook. Dr. Ham didn't get the incinerator treatment, but he did receive a fatal dose of drugs, a mercy. A removal team was sent.
Why didn't they
to
like do
049
research or
South.
some shit on
It
him?
said there was no need for special extraction techniques. It would go willingly, wherever they wanted to go. It was not, it said, an enemy of the people. The Hippocratic Oath forbids me to hurt a human being, it said while walking to the interrogation center. My only desire is to offer you my services and expertise.
You are
The
literally
floors and walls
killing
of the
these
interrogation
niggas.
center room were painted a bright white. Even the table was white. Which
By
contrasted with
association, of course. Like, what you're doing is getting them
massive
killed,
black
so
sitting
you
in the
are
middle.
killing them.
During the interrogation, it refused to admit or even accept that it had killed Dr. Ham. I cured him. I removed the pestilence from his body, it said. It
What
was
the
later
hell does
asked if
that
it regretted
mean?
its actions, to which it replied, well, good sir, one always regrets the loss of a colleague for any reason, but I stand by my actions. The pestilence must be abated.
I already know he's gonna do some crazy
Every
shit
2
to the
weeks
black
from
dude,
that
some
point,
like
049
maniacal
was
shit.
given animals. The scientists at the facility observed it time and again, touching the animals, killing them, before producing a saw or scalpel and opening them up. Organs would be carefully removed with perfect precision.
Why do they
It was
keep
astounding
giving
to
him
even trained
animals then?
surgeons just how talented
That's what I
they
don't
were.
understand. That's what I don't
"I require
understand.
a close relative of yours," said 049 one day to a young doctor, who expressed shock that it was asked for one of the doctor's family members. I mean a great ape, said 049, not your dear aunt. There were several instances of 049 displaying a crude sense of humor. Staff would almost forget that the thing that they were talking to wasn't human, almost. And it was Dr. Thomas Morstead that had supplied the great apes.
What the
orangutans, in fact, that had been rescued from the rainforests of Borneo.
They know that
and
he's
to be
going
taken to
crazy with these
049
animals. Why do they keep giving it to
Then
him?
one day something changed.
He's studying.
049 told Dr. Morstead that its work was done, that it accomplished what it had wanted to do, and could someone remove the cured animal from its cell? I think you'd find that it's quite the work of art.
Ah,
A
shit.
triumph, 049 said through the intercom. When the removal team entered the cell, they
He
found
about
the
to start going
orangutan,
crazy.
or what was left of it. It was lying in the corner of the cell. The top of its skull had been removed, leaving its brain exposed. On its face was the expression of
What?
relaxation, and from its mouth it issued very soft squeaks, like that of an infant. 049 said, "Tell Dr. Morstead that its rage mechanism no longer
What the
exists.
hell?
I've removed the amygdala and made some changes to the hypothalamus and limbic system. It is cured and quite harmless." The next day, Dr. Morstead announced that he wanted to visit 049's cell himself.
What?
After which he heard a
He
chorus of
removes
disapproval
anger from its
his
body?
colleagues, all telling him that 049 was now too
He might be onto something.
Dr. Ham was sick, replied Morstead, and 049 has assured us that he would never take another human life. He's never lied to us, and I'm going to take him at his word. It appeared that 049
That was your
created
first
the perfect
mistake. Your
specimen
very
to
first
what was
mistake.
next. Dr. Morstead had to know. Everyone is sick, 049 told Dr. Morstead after the two had talked for a couple of minutes. The great pandemic has started. Fear not, doctor.
I already know this story's heating up, man.
Are you ready?
2!
Yeah.
Oh my god, is that Jack Black? Nigga,
No longer will you
What the
humans
fuck
spread
was
the
that?
disease.
Why did she just
Afraid
throw a
you're
black
wrong,
person in some
but
water?
This pandemic you speak of does not exist. We can happily live with our pathogens. We have done so for millennia. Dr. Morstead,
Did they guess the
angry that he couldn't
pandemic?
Get through to 049. I'm afraid you are suffering from paranoia. It is you who need to be cured. You have no idea, said 049.
What the
What are you
fuck?
doing? Shouted Morstead. You promised you wouldn't hurt a human again. I'm not hurting you. I'm healing you. 049 said.
See,
and
how
looked
did you
across the room
not
in a
guess that?
flash,
What the
placing
fuck?
a hand on the doctor's head.
Oh,
Morstead
hell
slipped.
nah.
They were being watched in the observation room.
Nobody
This
stopped
had
it?
gone too far. He had to be moved to the containment cells permanently. Mobile Task Force Epsilon
Light his ass
was
up,
on the scene
man.
And burst through the door. Now imagine.
He about to be Magneto.
049 said to himself. Those humans have no.
This nigga about to stop all bullets and be like,
Began walking
interesting. And
towards
send
the
that
tunnel,
shit right
opened
back.
fire on the anomaly, but the bullets bounced off its body.
Oh, hell nah.
SCP-049
I just have to throw hands at that point.
Each of the members of the task force, one by one, draining the life from them.
So
The
they
last
just
one
let him do
standing
that?
Stopped firing and attempted to run, but again 049 leapt across the room. black cape billowing
Hold
out behind
up.
him, and gently touched the man, causing him to drop to the floor.
This could be like a movie a little
049
bit.
stepped over the bodies of the fallen team and walked out of the containment cell. The full details of what happened next
Did he
are
kill them or
available
just
only
put them
the
to
O5
sleep?
Council, what are sometimes called the overseers. The redacted report that is available reads, Standard Secure Humanoid Containment Cell, Research Sector 02, Site 19, Subject, SCP-049.
Oh,
Date of
fuck
breach,
no.
Redacted. Euclid class SCP-049 breach cell.
Look at all
and
these different
subsequently gained access to
SCPs.
adjoining rooms and nearby buildings. Breach lasted approximately 3 days and 5 hours. Total casualties redacted, with redacted number of survivors requiring incineration therapy. Course of action: Department of Science Alchemy Division suggested injecting anti-transmogrify disinfectant into Class D former prisoners who were transported to site and allowed them to come into contact with SCP-049. SCP failed to reanimate injected prisoners and cure them. SCP-049 acknowledged this failure and surrendered to Mobile Task Force Alpha-1. SCP-049 then requested to be contained.
Why?
Present containment under responsibility of redacted. Present location of SCP-049 redacted.
So this
End
nigga just
of
scotch
report.
free. This nigga just easily just walked out of the building and just was never found again then. What the hell is this, bro? Dr. Clef, SCP Foundation researcher. See, there's like endless fucking SCP niggas, bro. Well, as always, bro, let me know down in the comment section below which SCP I'm reacting to next. I hope you guys enjoyed SCP-049. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Check on your strong friends, pray for your enemies. If you're not religious, at least wish them well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all. Love you.